Well, Happy New Year, everybody. It is Sunday, January 4th, 2026. Remember back in the old days when we used paper checks and had to scratch that off because we'd write 25 instead of 26? Remember that? Paper checks. Anybody still use those? I bet somebody does. I hope you all have a great start to the new year already and that things are on track. For those of you that have made resolutions, I hope those are on track. I mean, it's day 4. They say 80% of them fail within the first 20% of the minutes of the year, and that's a made-up stat, completely made up. I didn't get real heavy on resolutions this year. I went a different direction. I thought I'd go with New Year's realizations. How about that? And that's not what this episode about. The title's more indicative of what we're going to talk about, lessons from the past that we can carry forward and share. But I do want to talk about New Year's realizations. One of the things that I have to be real careful about is as we've talked in the past on other episodes, other even podcasts that I've done, is the ADD and how to manage it, feed it, and succeed with it. And that's where the realizations come in. I have a lot of projects going on, and it helps. I mean, it works with how my brain is miswired, if you will. But in order for that to really work, I have to really act and be active and manage that stuff. So this year, I am going to redirect my energies a little bit more, be a little bit more deliberate, quicker to end or fix situations. Don't delay, don't procrastinate as much. And if something's not working, I'm just going to keep moving past it. I'm not going to fight it or ignore it or let it fester. You know, I've been working on this book that I thought was going to be out in May 28th of this year. I have missed that by a mile because I know it was going to be May 28th. Well, nope. Summer, July 4th. Nope. Christmas. Nope. It's January and I don't have it done. I'm closer than I've ever been, but it's not done. Basically, I'm boiling it down to if I do the same things, I will get the same results. I'm going to reduce my psychosis and my insanity by doing the same thing and expecting different results. I'm going to change things because I need different results. I want some really grand accomplishments by the end of this year. That being said, that's what this episode is about. Now that I've got 2 podcasts going, I've got the 2 Scotch Funk Worldwide Lounge. That's for the fun stuff. This one, the 7th Seal, is more serious and contemplative and hopefully helpful. That's why I have 2. If I want to do something fun, I'll use the other one. If I want to do something a little more serious and helpful, I'll use this one. Now that you have the setup for the year, let's get going with this one. Let's talk about lessons. I was headed back from Alpena to home on New Year's Day and coming through my actual birthplace of Onaway, Michigan. I was just west of it, just made it past the blinker light, and there was a head-on collision in front of me, directly in front, maybe 100 yards. First one I've ever seen in my life. First one I've ever been first on the scene for. And it shook me. I mean, that hit, it was head-on. 2 cars just smacked right in the middle of the highway. It was snowing like crazy. The roads were kind of crappy, but not unnavigable by any stretch. But man, they hit right directly head on. The wheels of the one car came off the ground. The other one spun into the ditch. It was bad news. I saw the one guy jump out of his car and try to rip the door up. The other one made me a little nervous that he was in a rage moment from the adrenaline, but he was just checking on the other guy. Long story, both guys were okay. One went to the hospital, was released later that evening. One didn't even take treatment. He was in the ambulance for about an hour, and they let him go. He signed himself out, and off he went. But man, those 2 cars are demolished. It was a hell of a lick. You know, being a race car guy and doing that, you get used to that stuff. You do it when you're in the car. You know how hard those hits can be. All the airbags deployed. It was incredible. But the fact that they both walked away was a miracle. I'm so pleased about that. But the lesson here, neither one of them had their lights on, and I'm going to harp on that till my last breath. If it's shitty outside, turn your lights on. If it's raining, foggy, snowy, if there's a lot of pollen, maybe that's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Turn your lights on. One of the things my dad used to say, kid, I promise your light bill will not go up if you turn your headlights on. Do it. So as I drove home and unwound that couple hours of activity, I was thinking about something my dad taught me. When we were coming up, my dad taught Heather, my little sister, and I both the same thing. It's called the secret agent game. When you're driving along, you know, sometimes you get complacent. You just keep focusing on what's in your head or what your day looks like. You just get complacent. You go on autopilot, and that's dangerous. That's when things happen. That's when the things you least expect happen, and you're not ready because you're in a different zone. One of the things the other guys I raced against cautioned me on when I first started is they said, don't get target fixation. Do not focus on the car right directly in front of you. Keep your eyes in front of that one. See what's coming before that comes to the car in front of you. Don't get into a lull where you're just following and not really driving. Don't get to a place where you're not part of the activity. All that to say, the secret agent game has saved my bacon I don't know how many times. But here it is. It's really simple. You got to pretend that you're a secret agent and that every driveway, every tree, every hidden rock, everything that could hide a vehicle or a person or a kid on a bike, they're all out to get you. They're all trying to run into you as fast as they can without any warning, and they want to surprise you. Their job is to take out the secret agent, which is you, the driver of that car. So every time you see a driveway, you've got to imagine there's somebody trying to get you in that driveway. There's going to be somebody pulling out as fast as they can just to take you out. Now, what's your plan? This is where you, the secret agent, become better than everybody else on the road, because all of a sudden you have a plan. If the bad guy's a deer that jumps out of the ditch and you don't expect it, well, you could either slam on the brakes, hope for the best, and hit it, or you could be planning for it and say, okay, there's no oncoming traffic. I've got room to move if I need to. You can constantly be assessing what's happening around you and making your escape plan. There should never, ever, ever be a head-on collision. You should always be watching for that. What's the best way to take out a secret agent? Head on. You got no chance. I mean, those guys were done for the day. Their cars are ruined. Thank God they're both okay. But neither one of them were playing a secret agent game. Neither one of them had their headlights on. They were both in stealth mode. It was a gray day, gray road, whipping snow, gray vehicles. You couldn't have camouflaged those guys any better than they already were. They did it themselves. Neither one was a secret agent, and they both took each other out. So what's the point of this story? Be the secret agent. Be ready. Be watching, especially you young kids. When you're first getting your license, there's so much going on. I mean, in the old days, we had tape cassettes to flip. We had kids in the car. We were having a blast. I mean, that was our freedom. You weren't paying attention, and good Lord, there's so many times you think, man, I'm so lucky to be here. But a lot of that was a secret agent game. I remember one time Dad and I were driving to town. I was a kid in high school, and it was snowing. It was pretty blowy and crappy. It's kind of like the day that the crash I saw happened. And we were headed to town on M32, very straight stretch of road. And secret agent game, Dad and I were talking, and I had my thoughts on my girlfriend, Amy. She always met me at my locker. I mean, it was high school. It was, hey, welcome to Americana, man. It was a perfect day. And, I'm getting my practice driving in the crappy weather, and somebody popped out of a driveway, and it pushed me, it forced me, it didn't touch me, but it pushed me into the ditch. And it was a nice, long, straight stretch. And I saw Dad kind of, hold his hand up a little bit, like, okay. And he said, well, what's your plan now, kid? And I said, well, I was thinking about kind of doing a scoop and use one side of the ditch and then pop out on the other side and see if I can come back up on the road. He said, okay, you're doing a great job. You might want to downshift so you get a little bit more speed coming out of here. Not, you better stop right now. Nothing like that. No panic, no nothing. Just here's the plan. Downshift. Don't, at 16, you don't have enough experience to know all that stuff that's going on. And sure as heck, we popped right back up on the road, kept on going, made it to my locker on time, got to see my girlfriend. If I would have been locked at 10 and 2, straightforward, laser beam eyes, just looking straight forward, I would have been creamed. Dad and I would have been T-boned, and the car would have been junk. We would have been safe, I'm sure, because we always are. But, man, thank goodness for that game. So the point of this whole thing, secret agent game, that's the lesson I want to share with you. Now, what I want to do with this podcast is make it more interactive. I would love to have some of you share some lessons that you can give to people that could help. It doesn't have to be life-saving car stuff, but whatever you have. Instead of New Year's resolutions about making yourself better, how about making yourself better by sharing some of the good stuff you've already got with others? I hope the secret agent game helped somebody. I'm going to bet that you'll get a chuckle out of the secret agent game and think, oh my gosh, that's so silly. But you watch, you will start playing it because it's kind of fun. It keeps the drive interesting. it is a lot of fun, and you're going to catch yourself doing it. You'll see a car pull out, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to come get me. And they'll stop, but you'll already have a plan in place as to where you're going to go. So you can laugh at me. I'm okay with that. I've been laughed at before. I've earned it. But this is a good lesson. So here's what I'm asking for you, from you, not for you, from you. To make yourself better, share something that's already good about you. Give a life lesson. It could be as silly as the Secret Agent game, or it could be as profound as anything you've got. You want to share it? Type it out. If you want to get on the podcast and call in, I would love that. I think that would be so much fun. I've now got the technology to do that. So let's do that this year. 2026 is the year of collaboration. Sharing what you've already done that's good to make somebody else better. How about that? Let's work together to have a kick-ass 2026. Thank you for being such a great part of my life and making it so much more fun. I appreciate you all and can't wait to do this again. Shoot me a note. Let me know if you want to jump on. Okay? Thanks for listening. Have a great day.